Hello you, welcome back to Terrain by Aaron. If you're a first time viewer, then I'm Aaron and I'd like to make things out of junk. And no, wait a minute, let's cue up some music. That's better. Now, if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, like, all that jazz, please and thank you. And by some sad twist of fate, this week I'm messing with Sculpey clay and not plastic. So let's start scratching that build. Now, I'd totally forgotten about my box of Sculpey until I found the box lurking under the table, just like the table monster that lurks under your table, waiting for the food you drop onto the floor at dinner. No, really, there is a monster under your table, just like the monster in your closet. Sweet dreams, kids. Anyhow, this on screen is a Sculpey gadget which makes shapes when I throw the clay into it and press down. And after about 20 minutes of me just pushing clay through this thing, I'd come up with an idea for a build. I'd overheard some work colleagues talking about their bad pizza they had had the night before, and they asked me if I'd ever had a bad pizza. Shocked that I was brought into their riveting conversation, I quickly replied with, "No, just bad noodles," and swiftly left. That one sentence stayed with me. Can anyone really have bad noodles? What are bad noodles? Then, after a bad cheese dream where I was being chased by, as one could best describe, a Scooby-Doo monster that had risen from a plate of noodles, I knew what build I was going to do. Monster noodles rising from a plate. Simple. So, grabbing some 5mm armature wire, which is very easy to bend, I made a primitive stick figure that any caveman would have been proud to draw on their cave walls. Well, I like to tell myself that. But later on in the build, there was no need to make this figure out of armature wire because I'd worked out later as shaping a lot of aluminium or aluminum tinfoil into a shape of a monster would have worked. The more we know. So I tore strips off the foil just like your boss tears strips off your self-esteem every Monday morning when the sales figures you should have done haven't been done until 5 minutes after you started work and he's been there 2 hours before you started. Yeah, just saying. I slowly shaped and moulded the foil around the wire until I got the desired look I was going for, before breaking open the Sculpey. Eagle-eyed viewers will have spotted 2 different coloured Sculpeys that I'd been using, and you're correct, the white one is fine and soft and I used that for the noodles, and this pink one is a medium blend with a light aroma. Now this one is a little tougher to use, so I showed it who was boss, just like your wife or girlfriend does on a Friday night after 2 glasses of wine and says she's feeling frisky, and you can't sit down without wincing with pain the next day. And I'm gonna get so much flack for that last joke. So once it was to the shape I wanted, I broke out some clay tools to fool myself into thinking I was a professional who knew what he was doing. Sadly, you and I both know that isn't the case. But I persevered until I had the look that I was looking for. Oh, that is bad writing right there, ladies and gentlemen. I do apologise. So I used some fireplace matchsticks. They're longer than your normal matches, and poked them into the eye sockets I had made previously, and there were my eyes. And I pre-baked the eye sockets so they would fit snugly onto the matchsticks, and also pre-baked the little pupils that I'm going to slot into the eye sockets a little later on. This stuff is Sculpey glue. It helps bond baked to non-baked clay together. It's basically like PVA glue. I smudged the glue over the figure and then just started applying the non-baked noodle strands one at a time to cover the entire body. After I'd baked the first wave of noodle strands, I think it was around about 130 degrees for 15-20 minutes. It all depends how hot your oven is, really. I just give the clay to the other half and she does all that for me because, you know, I'm a man and don't really know what an oven is. And there's another complaint for that joke. Moving on. So I'd actually made 2 of these clay figures. One that you've been seeing, and then that one there with the mouth and teeth. Simply because I didn't trust myself or the process of me successfully making a noodle monster. So there we have 2 noodle monsters. Then it was on to the painting. Ah, what a fantastic shot. What a brilliant shot of my hand painting something in front of it. Great stuff. Oh, it's gone again. Oh, there we go. So yeah, so I just painted the matte black acrylic paint, and then painted all the noodles, and then spray painted everything with like a beige, and then like a grey beige, just to sort of like make it look like noodles, I guess. And to finish off the Bad Noodles scene, I got this. It was ironically an actual like a Super Noodles carton. So once I'd washed all that out, then took all the packaging off, and then just painted on the letters Noodles. So there was no copyright issues. Oh, and I have to say that the noodles that I ate from this carton were delicious and weren't bad at all. So if you made it this far through the video without skipping, I commend you. Thank you very much for sticking by and watching this, and hope you like the finished results. And until next time, keep scratching that build, everybody. Thank you very much for watching and your continued support. Quick disclaimer, I do know what an oven is, I do use an oven, and I am really sorry about the 2 jokes earlier on.